Alright, so we're going to start over here. That is my work area. I share my game room with my work office. And I have my personal PC here, and that's where I play PC games, and I do enjoy PC gaming. Not as much as I used to, but I do. But I'm not stuck in that hamster wheel where I have to just keep upgrading everything and I have to have the latest game. No, not anymore. So we have some Sega CD games up here. We also have some Sega Saturn Overflow and disc-only Sega Saturn, and some disc-only Sega CD games. Yeah, they don't look great on the shelf, but I'm glad I have the original games, which is cool. Below that we have some PlayStation Overflow, Von Miller's Garden those. Yeah, he'll be playing in Buffalo this year, but I wish him luck, man. And so I've got, a lot of those disc-only games are some of my games that I found from when I had my original launch model PS1. I don't have the original system, but I did find some of the old discs and kept them, and they all work great. And a lot of those discs were actually available at launch, so that's pretty cool. Below that, I have my Atari Jaguar loose cart collection. And I do that because I want to come over here, grab an Atari Jaguar game and play it. And I don't want to damage the box by opening the box all the time. So below that we have our Nintendo Game Boy Advance. And we have some Famicom games that I got from my buddy Josh over at Playmore Games. The link will be in the description of his channel as well, of course. Below that, we have some complete unboxed games, boxes anyway, that are kind of overflow. And I will tell you that Turrican box is a reproduction box, so before you say anything on that. Wow, it's great that you have the Super Turrican box. Wow, it's a reproduction. All right. Also, that's, just kind of my charging station for my Wii controllers. You always want to have a charged Wii controller. You never know when you're going to want to play. Alright, and here's my latest addition to my game room, and this is my Sony Trinitron CRT. I really love this TV. The geometry is great, the picture is amazing, and I've just been playing on it a lot lately, testing it out, running, playing several different systems and games on it. But real happy with it. Got it for free off of Facebook. And, as you can tell, it's in really good condition. Alright, so below that, we have the PlayStation 1. That's the modern, the PS1, I should say, right? That's what it was marketed as. And then we've got the Nintendo Wii, and we've got the GameCube. Below that, we've got the Xbox 360, the more modern one. Some people don't like that model. I like it. It's durable. It runs all the time. It's great. So. Right next to it, though, I do have my Xbox 360 Elite, and I have a God of War faceplate on it, and really enjoy that system too. Alright, so then next to that, we've got some modern systems. We've got the PS4, and we've got the Xbox One, we've got the Nintendo Wii U, which has just been added. I did not have this on the last Game Room tour. I'm real happy with it. I really love the way it plays and some of the games that are available on it. Kind of the very first Nintendo Switch, right? And then we have the Nintendo Switch, my favorite modern console right now. Love that console. Nintendo hit it out of the park with this. And I remember all the criticism about it before they released it too. Well, I think they did alright. Alright, and then right above that, I almost forgot to show you my Golden Axe poster. That is the poster that came with my launch model Sega Genesis. I will be showing you that launch model here shortly. Got it framed. I really love that poster. It's like my favorite thing on the wall here. So yeah, cool. Next to it, of course, Punisher. My nephew Chad knows I love you, Punisher, and he got me that poster. So, alright, so we've got a modern TV for all kind of modern games, like Broforce. I do play some modern games, but I do love the modern retro games, and Broforce is one of those great games. So you gotta have a modern TV in here as well. Plus, you know, you can watch, I can watch the Broncos, you know, on Sunday afternoons while I'm gaming, have it on, so, Sports Center, NFL Network, all that good stuff. Below that, we have the biggest CRT I've ever had, and I never want to load this thing again. Man, we're talking 200 pounds here, guys. The other Sony Trinitron that I showed you, that was 109 pounds. This is my JVC iHeart CRT TV, and it is just huge. It was difficult to get in here, and I just hope that the thing lasts forever. CRTs seem to. That's one of the cool things about a CRT is they are very durable. So below that, we've got my PS1, and you know, I can swap it out with my PS2 Mini at any time with my PS2 games. We've got the Sega Saturn, we've got my Switch box there, PS3, and my OG Xbox. Love my Xbox, love all my systems, man, but yeah, I love that OG Xbox. Alright, so moving on from it, we have the current Sega Genesis configuration that I'm playing on. It's the Model 2. It's a good Model 2. It's the one that has the better sound of the Model 2s. And I have the 32X running through it. And of course the Model 2 Sega CD. And I have found that this configuration with the Model 2s and just kind of the more modern Sega Genesis equipment works really good. It's very durable. It turns on every single time I want to play. It loads the games, of course. Really clean, love it. So next to it, we have the Neo Geo Arcade Stick Pro, and I love this device. Probably my favorite modern device that's come out. It plays on the HD TV. It can be downscaled, and I've done it. But, and then you can see there, you can plug in the controllers. They look kind of like the Neo Geo CD controllers. They're not clicky sticks, but I enjoy them. So I'll plug those in and play it, or you can stretch that out and actually play on the arcade stick. I've got Halo Stick installed, so that has the entire Neo Geo library, along with some arcade hits and some Genesis, some Super NES games. So it's pretty cool. So it's a great hack. Above that, I have the Castlevania Shadow Box, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Love that game. If you've watched my channel, I've covered it several times, probably too many times. But I love that game. Next to it, my buddy Jonathan from back in the day gaming sent me this Castlevania Bloodlines canvas. Really cool, man. I love it. I sent him a Sonic the Hedgehog game because he had won a Sega Genesis, and yeah, man, he didn't have to do that, but I'm sure glad he did. I love it. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Right above that, we have John Elway. And you know, everybody knows the greatest quarterback to ever live. So we'll just leave it there. Thanks. All right, below on the second shelf, we've got the Sega Dreamcast. We've got the TurboGrafx 16. Love both those systems. We've got the Atari Jaguar. So, you know, all three of these systems should have performed better. Great systems, great games that a lot of people haven't played or are aware of. With the exception maybe to the Dreamcast. But, I love my Atari Jaguar, and it is brand new to my game room tour. I did not have this last time. I'm going to show you the rest of my collection here, and it's pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about it. I play the Jaguar a lot right now. So below that, I have my awesome Nintendo 64 Jungle Green. Right next to it, I have my Super NES. And this Super NES was from Joshua at Play More Games. I'm going to put a link to his channel, like I said, in the description. It has been recapped. It's been modded where I can play Super Famicom games on there. Super Famicom games are a little bit cheaper than SNES cards. So. And then I have my Blinking Light Wind modded NES. So basically it just replaces the carriage. It's kind of like a top loader after you replace that and you mod it. and you just open the door, slide the cartridge in, you don't have to push it down. It plays games every single time it fires up, as long as those games are clean, reasonably clean, and it plays every single time, no blinking light, and it is a winner. So there you go. All right, so moving over to my shelves, which I need to figure something out here, but we'll get there. It's a work in progress, right? So up top I have the Master Chief helmet. It came with the Halo 3 Game of the Year, and it's also got a DVD kind of on the making of Halo 3, that type of stuff. Apologize for my camera work here. The Neo Geo Arcade Stick Pro box, and then the Nintendo Switch box, and then my Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle that I had back in the day when I was a kid. Had that as a toy, loved it. Probably one of my all-time favorite toys as a kid, so had to recollect it, and busted it out for the grandkids not too long ago, and they love it. So there you go. Alright, so then we have my NES collection, and I really don't like doing it this way, because when you want to play a game that's lower on the stack, it's a real pain. So I got to figure out a better way to store these, but this is the way it is right now. This is the poor man's retro game room, right? So pretty standard fare as far as NES games. You know, of course, the Mario trilogy, the Castlevania trilogy, both of the Zelda and games. One of the highlights is Adventure Island 2, Dragon Warrior 2. Yeah, so very cool, man. I love my NES. Love my NES, and I still love playing NES on original hardware. Alright, so then we've got the Atari 2600 carts, and you know, fairly standard fare there as well. You'll find that. And then for some reason I have my TurboGrafx 16 turbo chips sitting over there. My heat cards, if it was a PC engine. I need to move those over. I've got 3 complete in-box TurboGrafx 16 games. Alien Crush. Yeah, so Alien Crush is probably one of my big games that I have. And then of course Keith Courage and Legendary Axe complete in box. Next to that, of course, my Nintendo Switch collection. Big one there is, of course, the new Metroid game I got, and haven't been able to delve into it too much lately. And then next to that, I have my Xbox One collection, PS4 collection, and as you can see, my modern games are probably the least amount of games that I have are modern games. Nintendo Wii U collection. Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, probably the highlight there. Nintendo Wii. Next to that, we got GameCube games, of course, Metroid Prime and the Resident Evil game. Really great games on the GameCube. Next to that, we have my Nintendo 64 that, of course, most of those games have no labels on them, which is great. So since they don't, yeah, those are all really super rare games. Got a lot of the awesome wrestling games. The 64 did wrestling better than any console, in my opinion. And then of course Doom 64, Zelda. Alright, so then we've got my SNES collection. Pretty small and select games that I love to play. And a couple of free Super Famicom games in there, so that's cool too. But I've got the big ones, you know, Super Metroid, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, Contra 3, Super Castlevania, and of course I've got Zelda, so there you go. Below that is my Sega Genesis collection. We're going to show you the rest of it here. This is just the games that I have on the shelf. So, pretty standard fare there as well. Got some sports games in there. I don't mind playing retro sports games if they're good games. Just picked up General Chaos not too long ago. Pretty cool game. Love Subterranea. kind of see what I got there as far as at least in the clamshells. And then I've got my 32X collection. Yeah, man, I love NBA Jam on the 32X. Really great game. Just picked up Virtual Racing. That's a must-have, right? And so, very cool. Star Wars, one of my favorite 32X games. Probably it's the first one I played, so maybe that's why it's one of my favorites. And that's fresh nostalgia right there. To borrow a term from Kinda Cool. Alright, so then I've got my loose stack of Sega Genesis games. Not a whole lot to show you there. And I'm going to show you the rest of it. I've got a really cool Sega Genesis and Atari Jaguar collection coming up, so hang in there, man. PS2 collection, we're going to move it along here. PS1, of course, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is in my collection. I love that game. Then we've got Sega Saturn and Sega Dreamcast. Below that is the rest of my PS2 collection. And I'm trying, guys. This is hard because I got a chair right in my way here. PS3. OG Xbox, right? And we're going to back up here a little bit. Xbox 360 that runs into my OG Xbox collection over here on the ground. There you go. Now don't worry about those Christmas lights on the ground there. Those are LED lights. They're cool. They're cool to the touch. So no issue there. So here is my, let me back up here without falling. Here is my cabinet. This is where I keep some of my favorite items. Let me put it that way. So down below, we've got some Nintendo Powers that I just picked up from my local pawn shop, Patriot Pawn here in Sterling, Colorado. Behind that, I've got some of my mini systems. Not all of them, but some of them. We've got some overflow on complete in box NES and Atari 2600 games, which is cool. Now above that is the collection I've really been working on and focused on. And this is my Atari Jaguar collection. So, Terry from Nostalgia Lane, I'll put a link to his description. He gave me that little 2600 stress ball type thing. The controller, it's awesome. I got this box from 123 Gamerman, and I will put a link to 123 Gamerman's YouTube channel because he has really helped me in my Atari Jaguar collection, and also Kinda Cool has as well. So I'm going to put a link to his channel in my description as well. In this box is not a controller, but I have all of my game manuals and my overlays. I have several overlays in there. I keep them in there to keep them protected, but yet I can grab a manual at any time and look at it and check it out. I love game manuals. And then I'm going to have to put another link in because Old School Games and Stories sent me these in one of our trade. He just threw these in, some of these old Atari catalogs, which is really cool, man. So here's my Atari Jaguar complete in box collection anyway. And, you know, the ones to note, Doom, of course, Tempest 2000, Super Burnout, Attack of the Mutant Penguins, Ultra Vortec. Just some really great games. Alien vs. Predator. And loose, I have several loose carts as well, which I showed you over there. But also in those loose carts were the cartridges out of these completing games carts. So above that, we've got Sega Genesis, and just some of my favorite games, and maybe games that might be worth a little bit more than just the standard loose cart are up here. But I don't have them up here just because they're valuable, like the Sonic collection. You know, you can get those games; they're not valuable as far as money-wise. Then we've got the Shining Force 2, Mega Turrican. We've got, of course, the Streets of Rage games. My Streets of Rage 2 is not complete in box. In fact, it's a pretty beat up cart, and I don't care. I love it. And of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Hyperstone Heist, great game. And probably the standout here would be the Shining Force 2 complete in box, and that's the cardboard box. And I got that from 123 Gamerman in a trade. So there you go. I shipped him out Gun Knack for the NES, and he's shipped me several Atari Jaguar games and that Shining Force 2. Alright, behind that we've got my Sega Genesis launch model complete in box. Probably my pride and joy of all of my collection is that. Love it. A lot of nostalgia, of course. And then, of course, one of the best mini consoles to come out in recent years is the Sega Genesis Mini, which you can connect to your HD TV. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this tour. A lot of stuff added from my last tour, and just kind of wanted to give an update and show you where I'm at here. And just one more look around the room. Alright. Thank you guys. I hope you have a safe and great rest of your day.